This is one of my favorite dishes. I remember having this for the first time on a family trip to Shanghai, and it blew my mind. Super spicy, super fragrant. You got a variety of tastes, and most important, you got that spicy, tongue-numbing flavor from the Szechuan peppercorn. So first, for our vegan version, I got a hot pan. I'm gonna add a little bit of oil and about 100 grams of chopped mushrooms, which will act as the meat for the dish. We're gonna roast these pretty hard so that they get a nice, dark, meaty texture and flavor. You can also use pork, which is classically used, but today we're using mushrooms. For this recipe also, I'm gonna use 5 types of chilies just to give you different levels of heat, different flavors, and different spice levels, okay? While that's roasting, I have a pot of boiling water, and to that, I'm gonna gently slide my silken tofu into it. One of the tricks to making this dish is to create a lovely sauce on the side, have the tofu heated through in the water, then adding that to the sauce and serving it directly. Whenever you try to cook the tofu into the sauce, you end up mashing it and you end up with a pile of mushy tofu and you lose it all. So this, we're gonna slide into our water. It only needs to be in there for a couple of minutes until it's completely heated through because it's actually already cooked. Our mushrooms are nicely roasting here. We're trying to evaporate some of that excess moisture. So to that, I'm gonna add my diced onions, about 100 grams. We have 3 fresh chilies, 5 or 6 dry chilies. And this is the fun part. This dish is known to be fire. So make it as spicy and as hot as you like. Also try messing around, playing around with different kinds of chilies, and it'll give you a different flavor. Okay, so we'll give that a quick toss. We'll add our sliced garlic. One of the key ingredients to this dish is the Szechuan peppercorn, also known as the flower peppercorn. This is what gives it that mouth-numbing, tingling sensation. They love it in northern China. They use it in their soups, their stocks, their sauces. We're gonna use it today in here, and it'll help you get that numbing flavor. Okay, so we're gonna sprinkle some of that in. We're gonna save a little bit for garnish. Here we have some doubanjiang, which is fermented chili bean paste. This, again, is a key ingredient in the classic dish. If you can't find it, feel free to substitute with any sort of chili paste sambal that's available. I love it because it's salty, it's got a strong umami, deep flavor to it. We have a little bit of dark soy, about 10 ml. And we're gonna add about 60 ml of oyster sauce, just to give it a little bit more sweetness and to round out the dish. I can already smell how spicy this is gonna be. Next, we're gonna add our stock. You can use water. If you have some veg stock lying around, feel free to use that. This is about a cup of water that we've added 1 tablespoon of cornstarch to it. Add that in. So I can already smell that nice fragrant spice. We put about a teaspoon of the Szechuan peppercorn here, and for me, that's gonna give you a strong punch in the face spice. For you, you might wanna start, if you want it a little bit lighter, start with about a half teaspoon, give it a taste, and add as much as you want afterwards. It's always easier to add spice than to remove. So now that our sauce is ready, we're gonna very gently remove our tofu and add it directly to the sauce. At this point, everything should be ready to go, and we're just gonna give it a nice gentle stir so we don't destroy our tofu. Once it's come back up to a boil, we're gonna finish it with a little bit more chili oil, a little bit more peppercorn, and we're ready to plate, guys. So very gently, I'm gonna spoon this into our bowl, and you can serve this with some steamed rice, fried rice, noodles, or just have it as is. Just a touch more of that Szechuan peppercorn and some lovely fresh cut garlic chives, just to give it a little bit of freshness. Woo, that is fire. This is my 10-minute kitchen vegan mapo tofu. Don't forget, guys, when you make it at home, adjust the spice level to what you like. For me, this is perfect.
Hey everyone, welcome back to 10-Minute Kitchen. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make my dan dan noodles with some golden wok Szechuan pork dumplings, and I'm pairing it with a beautiful SodaStream lemon lime bitter sparkling drink. All right, let's get into it. So first thing, I'm gonna cook my dumplings. So into my wok. Now I'm using a wok because later on when I'm gonna cook my noodles, I'm gonna use the wok as well. So it's a one wok wonder. All right, so Szechuan pork dumplings by Golden Wok, delicious. These are probably one of my favorites from the range. Straight from the freezer into the wok. So that's gonna sizzle. Pop them all in. I'll just give that a mix. Okay, that's just gonna cook in the pan for about 8 to 9 minutes. A little bit of water, about a tablespoon or so, just to have that steaming and cook through. All right, they're looking good now, so I'm just gonna take them out of the wok and set them aside into a separate bowl. Now, if you're not confident using a wok, because it can get quite hot in a wok, just use a non-stick pan to fry them, because they're much easier to control the heat then. All right, perfect. So set that aside. Now I'm just gonna give it a quick wipe, just so it's a clean wok. Just get rid of all that residue. Easy. Now into the wok, I'm gonna add in some oil. So about a couple of tablespoons or so. I've chopped up some garlic, so I'm gonna add in some minced garlic, so about 2 cloves in there. Okay, now I'm gonna add in my minced pork. So I've got about 250 grams of minced pork here. You can mix this up, you can mix the protein up, but generally it's pork, but you can use minced chicken or beef if you want. But because the dumplings that I'm using are pork as well, so I thought I'll just stick with the theme. All right, add that in, turn the heat up a little bit. Now this is the beauty about wok cooking, it's all about controlling the heat. So when you're cooking in a wok, you definitely want flames because that's where the sort of the control of the heat comes into play. So you know how to play around and turn the heat up when it's getting too cold or turn the heat down when it's getting too hot. Just gonna brown my minced pork. Okay, so now that's sort of like semi-cooked. I'm gonna add in this thing called sumiya chai. Now, it's basically preserved vegetables. So it's preserved mustard greens. You can get it at any good Asian grocers. I'm gonna add in about 50 grams of that into the pan. And then just mix that through. And you can really smell it. It's got this sort of sourish flavor, so it's like a fermented vegetable. If you think about, say, like kimchi, for example, it's got that similar kind of flavor and smell. Now to that, I'm gonna add in a tablespoon of Szechuan peppercorns. Now this is just gonna reinforce the Szechuan flavor, which is in the dumplings as well. So add that in. So I'm gonna add in a couple of tablespoons of this chili oil, and you can get this at the Asian grocers, or you can actually make it yourself. Beautiful. We're nearly there. Now we just have to add in the noodles and the vegetables. So what I've done is I've pre-blanched my noodles. So these are just whole wheat noodles that you can get at any Asian grocers or even in the supermarket. I blanch them in hot water for 2 minutes and then I've just run some oil through it so that it doesn't stick. So add this whole bowl into the mince. In that goes. Then the greens, so in goes the choy sum. All that goes in. And then mix that through as well. And stir it for a couple more minutes and then we're ready to serve up. Okay, awesome. Now this is ready and we can plate up. So heat off and then into a bowl. Just gonna add in the noodles. Make sure you get lots of the lovely pickled vegetables and chili that's right at the bottom, as well as the minced pork. That looks so inviting. Now I'm just gonna garnish it with some spring onions just over the top. finely slice them. It's nice and fresh. And then not forgetting the Szechuan pork dumplings. So we're gonna add them right on top. That. And some chili oil to finish it off.
Today it's all about what's in the back of your pantry and the back of your fridge. So I'm going to give you 2 easy recipes which you can make from leftovers almost. So first one's a Thai fish cakes, and then I've got a beautiful SodaStream sparkling beverage for you made from spiced chai, ginger and apple. It's going to be delicious. I've got some white fish here. You can use any white fish, just needs to be a firmer fish. Some rice flour, some fish sauce, chili, ginger, garlic, spring onions. Super easy, okay? So 300 grams of your diced fish, straight into your blender. And then we're gonna just do some chopped garlic and chopped chili. Chili first. Roughly chopped, because it's all going in the blender, guys. Same again with the garlic. Roughly chop it. And with the ginger, I'm just going to use half of this ginger for now. And again, roughly chop. And straight in. And then some fish sauce. It's about 4 tablespoons of fish sauce. Pinch of salt. A little bit of pepper. And then I've just got 2 spring onions here as well. You want the green and the white. So again, just roughly chop it. All getting blitzed up anyway. Straight in, lid on. And then we're just gonna give that a bit of a zhuzh up. So now I'm gonna add in some coriander. You don't add it in at the beginning, mainly because I don't want to bruise it, you know. It's very soft, very delicate, and you only need a handful. So I want that flavor to really fold through, but I want it to also hold its integrity and its color. So that coriander goes in now, and we give it one last zhuzh. Oh, I wish you could smell this at home. Like, the ginger, the chili, the coriander, it's so fragrant. Like, it's just incredible. It's like the smells of Thailand hit you in the face. So now I'm just gonna pop some oil on, because we're gonna fry these, again, about 180. But again, if you're not sure about the temperature, I'll show you a little trick to just check it at the end, or the easiest way to do it is use a probe. Okay, now we're just gonna portion up these fish cakes. So don't have to worry about the shape too much to begin with, because we'll ball them into nicer balls just before we drop them into the hot oil. But you're basically just going like a tablespoon and spreading it around. So you can see the color there. You can see how well it's already binded. Like, the fish is the binding agent. That's the beautiful thing about Thai fish cakes. You don't need to add any flour into your mix or any breadcrumbs or anything like that. You know, the natural gelatin of the fish does the work. Okay, now you just take your little rough shapes. I've wetted my hands slightly just with a bit of cold water, and then you just want to roll them just to form almost like a mini patty or a mini meatball. Okay, you're going for that sort of shape. The water just allows it not to stick to your hand too much. And you get a really nice even shape. And just pop one down, you go to the next one. Once these are shaped, the oil's almost at temperature, I'm just gonna dust them in a little bit of rice flour and then drop them into the fryer, cook them for about 4 to 5 minutes till they're nice and golden and crispy on the outside. Okay, now we've got our beautiful little patties. I'm just gonna add a touch of rice flour, about 50 grams, just to coat them. And then we're gonna drop it in the fryer at 180 for about 4 minutes until they're golden. Now we've got them out the oil. Just gonna finish this off with a little bit of lemon. But guys, if you want to turn this into like a full main meal, you can do it like a Thai salad or noodles. I'm just gonna serve this with lemon, keep it really simple like a snack, but you can dress it up. You can even add a sauce, like a sweet chili sauce, or I love sriracha with things like this, you know, whatever you want. So, some lemon, got your fish cakes. A little bit of lemon in there. So there you go, guys. Those are my super easy Thai fish cakes. Give them a try at home. Hope you enjoy. I'm gonna show you a really quick and easy soda stream recipe. This is my chai fizz with ginger and apple. So super easy, guys. We're just gonna carbonate up our water. Two seconds on this, and that's it, job done. Okay, doesn't need any more. Okay, so now we're gonna chop up some apple. I'm just making a drink for one, so I only need just a little bit. Nice slices, and then across again. So push our apple to one side. So now we're gonna do some ginger as well. Ginger and apple are one of my favorite combinations. You get that like spice and that little bit of a kick from the ginger, but the refreshingness of the apple really is a match made in heaven, especially when you're pairing it with chai and bubbles. Mix together and add it into our glass. And then I've already got some chai, which I've just brewed in advance and chilled it. So you're looking at about 200 ml of brewed chai. And now we're just going to finish that with our sparkling water. So here you have it, guys, my spice chai ginger fizz with apple. Oh, so refreshing, perfect for the summer.